There's this heavy weight hanging over every founder's head right now, something more suffocating than just competition or market risks. It's the dread, the gnawing question you don't dare say out loud. Will the AI gatekeepers decide if you even get to launch? Imagine pouring your soul, years of sacrifice, insane sleepless nights into your vision, only to be told, hold on, your creation needs approval before it can breathe. This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's creeping in like an undeniable shadow. The fear that the very future you're racing to build might be stalled by invisible bureaucrats, algorithms, or power brokers deciding who gets to play and who's left shouting into silence. You know this isn't just about red tape or some new regulation. It's about control. It's about systems trying to shape what can be done, who gets a seat, who gets heard, who determines the boundaries of innovation. The terrifying part is not just the risk of being stopped, it's the suffocation of the individual spirit, the rare mind that can disrupt the status quo, crushed beneath layers of approval, compliance, and hidden agendas. The problem here isn't AI itself, it's the idea that any founder should have to ask for permission from an almost invisible force to launch their own product, their own idea, their own future. You're not alone if this thought keeps you up. It's a pressure cooker reality where your drive to build collides with a world that reads freedom but hands you shackles. They tell you to create, innovate, disrupt, but only within their invisible boundaries, only if you pass their test, only if your idea fits their narrative. And if it doesn't, you risk being erased before you even take your first breath of the public air. This crushing paradox is the battlefield every visionary faces when AI becomes the gatekeeper of possibility. But here's the raw truth that so few dare to say out loud. You don't have to wait for anyone's nod. Not a regulators, not a technocrats, not some faceless committee. The power to break free, truly free, lies completely within your own grasp. Imagine a future where founders don't just seek approval, they command trust by design, by transparency, by creating systems that make approval irrelevant. What if the way forward isn't begging for permission, but obliterating the very need for it? To do that requires a new kind of boldness, the kind that refuses to be tamed by the illusion of security that those gatekeepers love to preach. Your approach must be ruthless, but wise. It starts with radical transparency. Make your AI's decisions clear, understandable, undeniable. Not murky black boxes that breed distrust and fear, but open books that invite scrutiny, collaboration, and improvement. This transparency isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. When your users, investors, and partners see clearly what your AI does, why it does it, and how it safeguards them, you flip the narrative. You become the pioneer who builds trust by design, not by begging for it. Next, embrace relentless responsibility. This means owning every line of code, every algorithmic bias, every edge case your AI might misstep on. Don't shy away from the hard conversations about AI's potential pitfalls. Face them head on. Fix them before they become crises. Show the world that your launch isn't a gamble. It's a guarantee, a promise forged in sweat, expertise, and ethics. Founders who dare to own all risks like this place themselves beyond approval regimes because they become the standard by which others are judged. But here's the twist hardly anyone talks about. Your fight for liberation isn't solo work. It's a revolution that thrives in connection with the few who share your fire. Those investors, advisors, allies who don't settle for the mediocre, who reject the safety net the world offers, but instead push you forward. Build your network ruthlessly with those rare individuals who amplify your grit and shield your dream. Collaboration here isn't just about resources. It's about shared immunity to the system's chokehold. Together you write your own rules, design your own approvals, create your own pathways to launch. Most founders waste precious time chasing compliance checklists, tweaking products to fit expected molds, sacrificing the core of what makes their idea explosive and unique. The real shortcut isn't bending to their rules. It's learning the invisible art of making your AI bulletproof in ways they can't deny, can't control, can't censor without shattering their own credibility. This means hyper-focus on an unshakable foundation of ethics, combined with unbreakable user empowerment. Tools your AI users control, oversee, and audit in real time, breaking the illusion that some mysterious system holds all the power. When you put the power visibly into the hands of those who matter, the founders, the people affected, you're no longer asking for approval. You're proving it's earned, root and branch. And here's something explosive. Launch isn't the end. It's the beginning of relentless iteration, listening and building immunity against any future attempts to shut you down. Every launch is a message, a declaration that you're not asking for permission. You're rewriting the rules. Founders who lean into this mindset find themselves not just surviving the AI era, but mastering it. They create ecosystems where their AI doesn't just comply, it evolves, learns, improves with real human input, growing stronger and more aligned with users over time. That's how you render static approvals obsolete. Once your AI shows it's living, breathing, accountable, and most importantly, rooted in actual human benefit, no one can pause your progress without collapsing the trust they've tried to weaponize against you. So yes, the world is shifting. And yes, the idea that founders must somehow get AI approval is spreading like wildfire. But real power, the kind carved by few and coveted by many, says this: the future belongs to those who refuse to submit, but instead create a new paradigm. A world where approval isn't a gate but a platform, built from radical transparency, ironclad responsibility, and fierce alliances. This is the future where founders stop begging and start becoming, where the rare, the brilliant, the relentless no longer hide, but shine so brightly, no system can ignore them without burning its own legitimacy. If that stirs something inside, if the weight of waiting for permission feels unbearable, know this is your call. Your moment to stop shrinking your vision to fit the world's box and start expanding it until that box disappears. Don't just launch products, launch movements, launch ecosystems, launch new frameworks of trust and power that sidestep the old gates altogether. Because in this race, the only approval that matters is the one you build from the ground up, with no compromises. Founders, this world has no space for the timid or the compliant anymore. Investors, don't fund those who beg for validation. Fund those who build their own kingdoms of trust and accountability. Professionals, don't settle for being cogs. Become architects of the structures that make approval not a question, but a result of your relentless, uncompromising integrity. Leaders, stop waiting for the world to give you permission. Go out and build the structures so strong that no one can ever question your right to launch. The future will not be given. It must be taken, created, earned, and defended fiercely. The AI era will either be the cage that suffocates our wildest dreams, or the biggest stage ever built for the boldest, the rarest, the uncompromising creators. Those who know this will rise without asking. They will craft a world where their vision not only lives, but inspires unstoppable waves of change. And that, ultimately, is the only kind of approval worth chasing.